Now, another 17 counties have been added to the official English drought zone. The Environment Agency says that the drought could last beyond Christmas, but does not expect public water supplies to be affected. The agency had already declared a drought across London and the South East, East Anglia and parts of Yorkshire. Today's announcement adds in the Midlands and the South West, extending the area to cover most of England. Our Midlands correspondent, Darshana Soni, has spent the day with a farmer in the West Midlands and has this report.
In about 3-4 weeks' time, when we really do start to need a lot of irrigation water, that could really be quite serious then if we haven't had some sort of rain.
Stephen Watkins is keeping his fingers crossed for rain. The horticultural farmer grows 17 crops, including potatoes, spinach and spring onions, supplying supermarkets across the country. Although Mr Watkins has 2 licences to extract water for irrigation, he now has to ring the Environment Agency every morning to get permission to utilise them.
So are you worried about the drought this year?
Yes, we have to have some concern, because if we do get another dry winter, there'll have to be some fairly radical thinking on where we crop these high-value crops within the country. And I think the Environment Agency will need to prioritise who is going to be able to have the water and how much and when, really.
But how should we prioritise who has access to that water? It's likely to become a huge challenge. River waters have been left depleted after 2 dry winters, although it may not be obvious after last week's rain.
This is the River Tame in Warwickshire. Now, it doesn't look very dry. In fact, it's flowing quite nicely today. But the official definition of a drought is when the ongoing lack of rainfall has a material effect on the environment, on the wildlife and the wetlands. And that's exactly what's been happening here.
Half the country is now in drought, with 35 million of us living in affected areas. Britain is facing its most severe water shortage since 1976.
Well, earlier this week they were installing scores of additional stem pipes in streets throughout Devon.
That year, residents had to queue for water, supplies to businesses were rationed and schools had to close early.
It's been very inconvenient, of course it has, but we've made the best of it.
Today, most consumers in the Midlands and the South West are unlikely to be affected because the Environment Agency says there's no need for restrictions like hosepipe bans, which have been imposed in other drought areas, including London and East Anglia.
So what are the main effects? Because unlike parts of the south, we won't be seeing any hosepipe bans up here.
No, that's right. This is an environmental drought. So they were at this stage about a year ago, or about 9 months ago. And there's always a lag between an environmental drought and when water companies have any need to use restrictions. Having said that, it's really important that all of us use water wisely if we can, reduce consumption, because that conserves what we have and pushes the likelihood of restrictions for everyone further away.
Without immediate restrictions, the challenge is to persuade us all for the need to rethink the way we use water. It would take months, not weeks, of constant rainfall to reverse the current drought. Darshana Soni, Channel 4 News, Warwickshire.